to talk about the difference between art and craft. Craft equals function. Craft equals function. Art equals non-function. Craft is something you can use. Art is something that has no use. Simple as that. Okay, I'll tell you how that got started. Remember when we were talking about eat, sleep, and defend in the primitive days, back when man was just starting to walk, human beings were just starting to develop. All they thought about was eating, sleeping, and defending themselves so they could stay alive. So they had eat, sleep, defend. Their time was taken up, let's say, 7.5 hours sleeping, half hour to eat. The rest of the 16 hours was used to defend themselves. They looking for something to eat so they wouldn't die, looking for some place to sleep where it was safe. So all their time was spent defending themselves. Well, once they found a cave and they developed fire, as they progressed along the line there through these creative ideas that came through the creative force, they started spending a little less time defending themselves because they had a place to stay and it was safe and they had some food. So they spent most of their time out looking for food, but some of this time would back off a couple hours here where they didn't have to defend themselves anymore, so they could take a little rest there. Think about other things. That's when this creative force started to make them think of other things. So maybe one day someone noticed in this little section of time when he wasn't defending himself or eating or sleeping, he got this idea that he saw where they had had a fire going there for 3 or 4 days in this dirt pit there. He goes over there and he happens to feel that mud that they had put the fire in was hard like a rock. And he got to thinking in this little space up here where he wasn't defending himself or eating or sleeping, he got this creative idea that said something about this fire made this dirt very hard. So he came up with the idea to make a little vessel, a pot or something out of that's not there in the ground, that he could throw it. Next time he mixed some mud with water, made a little bowl, put it in the fire, and sure enough, it came out, it was hard, and he could use it. See what I mean? That was a creative idea that helped him eat, sleep, or defend. Helped him eat because he could gather stuff in that. That's craft, because it had a function. Do you see? So here we have this bowl. Now they're all starting to make bowls because it works great. They say, that's cool. Let's make a bunch of those in this time here where they're not eat, sleeping, or defending themselves. And the time between eat, sleep, and defend is starting to get larger because they're defending themselves better. And they're finding better ways to kill things and pick fruit or whatever. So their time spending on defending themselves so they'll stay alive is not as much, and so they have more leisure time, we'll call it, or time where their brain starts thinking of other things. Okay, so they have this pot, and pretty soon some guy gets, because he has extra time there, and he gets these special creative forces in his brain, and it tells him, well, I'm going to put a little picture of a stick figure of a person on my pot, and sure enough, everybody liked his pots better than the other pots because it had a little decoration on it. Now that's not art. That's still, it's a pot with a decoration, but it's still a pot, a functioning pot. It's still craft. However, as this time of defend shrunk, and they had more and more time of what we'd call leisure time, which was not so much leisure time, but that's what we would call it. Somebody got the idea. He was sitting there kind of musing over things and watching people do things, and he got the idea to take a stick, draw a little figure, and then throw in a rock here. And a four-legged animal that he saw, that's how they kill him. So he does that on the wall of the cave. Just with some charcoal out of the fire, he just starts doing that. No reason at all. Other than he observed that, and he decided to do that. That's art, because it has no function. That doesn't help anything. It doesn't carry food, it doesn't help defend, it doesn't help eat or sleep. So that's art. So you see how art developed? That's how it got started. Somebody took a piece of charcoal. Pretty soon they're doing it with other materials that they find. As they have more time to do that, to think of, let the creative ideas go in their mind. But still, then people are starting to make fancier pots with more colors on them and stuff, but they're still pots. They're still function. I'll give you another example. You have a house with a window in it, a hole in the wall, and you put a window in it. Keep the sun, keep the wind and stuff out. You make that stained glass, it still functions. However, you have your window and you hang a piece of stained glass on this side of it, that's art. See the difference? Okay. That's all for today. Go to my website, send me an email. See you next week.